Hello, you beautiful people. Do you remember that around 6 days ago, I made a video on my channel where I talked about some rumors related to Edo Star, which is the planet that we're going to go in patch 4.0, and how it might get completely cancelled or delayed due to some stuff. So, in this video, I'll mainly go over some massive updates that we got on this info, and well, it turns out that Edo Star is really getting delayed and pushed back from its original schedule. There is a lot to unpack in this video, like everything you need to know about this delay, the new release date of Edo Star, how this will affect the characters or the story, and all that stuff. Also, just keep in mind the usual disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is taken from an insanely reliable source, but it can still be changed at any point of time as it's not set in stone, so take all this info with a grain of salt. With that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. So, starting off, let's talk about some context on this news first, just to give you a slight recap on what's happening and to help the new viewers who haven't watched the last video on this info. Around 6 days ago, a very reliable source stated that we will not be going to Benzai Tengoku as our next station in HSR after we leave Amphireus, and Hoyoverse will be changing a lot of the stuff in Edo Star. Now, if you don't know what this place is, basically, Benzai Tengoku is a place in Edo Star, and it's specifically the one place that we were planning to travel to in order to start our Edo Star, or you can say the version 4.0 storyline. This particular info kind of came out of nowhere at the time of its release, but according to the source, this change was made due to some political reasons. So, if you're someone who is caught up on all this world politics, you're already aware that Japan and China kind of have a beef at the moment. Usually, most of the people would say that these countries haven't been on the best terms for decades, and to be fair, that's 100% true. Right now, though, the situation, or you can say the beef between both of these countries, is kind of escalated due to some comments that the Japanese Prime Minister made about Taiwan. Alright, that's basically the entire gist of this political tension, and if you want to know more about it, you can go watch a lot of the videos that have already been made on it. Now, the major problem here is that Hoyoverse and the Chinese government have a lot of history together, and let's just say that they aren't on the best of terms due to a lot of the past stuff. So, in a situation like this where China and Japan have political tensions, one of the biggest Chinese gacha games out there releasing a planet named Edo Star, which is totally based on a Japanese theme, would be quite problematic to say the least. I think you're slowly getting why this is a pretty big deal, right? Anyways, the same source who shared this info followed it up with another one today, where they have stated that Edo Star will be getting delayed for about 3 weeks in total. Honestly, this didn't really come as a surprise to me because if they were actually going to change and remove the Japanese motifs from Edo Star, they would definitely need a little bit of time. According to what I've heard in past developer interviews of Hoyoverse developers, a new planet or a new location is entirely completed 6 months or a year prior to its release. Which does make a ton of sense when you think about it, considering that Hoyoverse puts out new updates every 42 days, which is a pretty big deal. I'm still questioning how they will be able to change all the stuff in Edo Star to not completely represent Japanese themes, but if this 3-week delay is true, then it's almost enough time for them to give Edo Star a minor overhaul. Previously, Edo Star was set to release on January 28th along with version 4.0, but after this delay, it will be released on February 18th, which is also coincidentally the Chinese New Year in 2026. I'm guessing this means that one of our 2 limited characters in 4.0 Yaguang, who is a Xianzhou general, will be featured in the first half now due to the Chinese New Year. And Sparkle's new form will probably get pushed back to being featured in the second half. This delay also means that the drip marketing and the teaser that we were going to get for patch 4.0 might get delayed a little bit, but don't worry about that one, because as soon as they release it, I'll have a video already uploaded on it. Well, there you go. That's the latest info that we got related to Edo Star possibly being delayed. Personally, I know some of you might not agree with my opinion, but I would rather let Edo Star be delayed and receive all these changes properly instead of them rushing all the stuff. I know politics being involved in a production of a game isn't really ideal, but it's not like we can really change anything about this stuff. I'm curious though, how do you feel about this delay on your side? Also, if you ended up watching until the end, you might want to consider subscribing as well. With that being said, I just want to say I love y'all and I will see you in another one.